Okay, this is A Growing Economy, Chapter 9, Lesson 1. This says, how does geography influence the way people live? The invention of the cotton gin increased the value of cotton crop by speeding up the time it took to separate the lint fibers from the protective husk of the plant. This new technology helped reinforce the South's commitment to agriculture in the early industrial period. The significance of the machine to the Southern economy is evident in this letter from Andrew Jackson to his son, Andrew Jr. Dear Andrew, I find from a letter received by Major A.J. Donaldson today that there is some difficulty about getting his cotton ginned. When you finish yours, gin it for him and without a toll. The gin must be entrusted to any but Ben, our horses and drivers. I hope your cotton will be fully housed before this reaches you and ginned. I find good, well-handed cotton is selling from 14 to 16 cents and rising in Europe. And if early in market and well-handled, will bring us good price. And that's Andrew Jackson to Andrew Jackson Jr., November 12th, 1834. So these are people who are using a cotton gin, and a cotton gin is a machine that helps take seeds out of cotton. So it makes it much easier to take seeds out of cotton and makes it much more productive. Okay, economic independence. Guiding questions: how did the growth of factories and trade affect cities? Small investors, such as shopkeepers, merchants, and farmers, provided the money necessary to build most new businesses. These people invested money in hopes of earning profits if the businesses were successful. Low taxes, minimum government regulations, and competition encouraged people to invest in new industries. You got this picture, and then down here in the caption it says, the area known as the South Street Seaport in New York offered hotels, restaurants, and businesses. The value of trade in the area increased from $84 million in 1825 to $146 million in 1836. Growth of corporations. In the 1830s, changes in the law paved the way for the growth of corporations. A corporation is a type of business that can have many owners. Because of their legal status, corporations can grow to a large size. They sell stock, which are shares of ownership in a company, to raise money to build factories to expand their business. Large corporations began to appear in this era, and their great size helped drive industrialization. Okay, and these graphs show a population change between urban and rural populations over here on the right, and on the left, this is population growth. We're going to skip those questions. Okay. New inventions. At the heart of the Industrial Revolution was technology. First, new machines changed the way people made cloth. Inventions such as the water frame and the spinning jenny spun thread, and the power loom wove the thread in the cloth. Compared to making thread or cloth by hand, the machine saved time and money. Other inventions followed. In 1793, Eli Whitney invented the cotton gin. The word gin is short for engine. It quickly and easily removed the seeds from picked cotton and allowed a huge increase in cotton production. Whitney later accepted the task of making 10,000 muskets in 2 years for the government. At that time, skilled workers made muskets and other items one at a time. They made each part individually, and each weapon was unlike any other. Whitney made musket parts in large numbers. Each part was identical to others of its type. Even unskilled workers could then assemble a musket quickly. Plus, if a musket broke, a soldier could quickly replace the bad part with another that fit. Whitney's idea of interchangeable parts changed manufacturing forever. The rise of factories. In 1790, Congress passed a patent law to protect the rights of inventors. A patent gives an inventor the sole legal right to make money from an invention for a certain period of time. The British also tried to protect their inventions. One law prohibited textile workers from sharing technology or leaving the country. Still, a few British workers brought these secrets to the United States. One such worker was Samuel Slater. He memorized the design of the machines used in the British factory in which he worked. In the 1790s, Slater built copies in the United States of British machines that had made cotton thread. Slater's Mill marked an important step in the Industrial Revolution in the United States. Okay, this is what the factories look like. So this is the water coming through. It spins a water wheel, which makes the power that spins all these things. I'll show you a video about it. Okay, free enterprise. The capitalist economic system of the United States helps spur industrial growth. In capitalism, individuals and businesses own property and decide how to use it. The people, not the government, control capital, which includes the buildings, land, machines, money, and other items used to create a business and generate wealth. We also use the term free enterprise to describe the American economic system. People are free to work wherever they wish and to buy, sell, and produce whatever goods and services they want. The major elements of free enterprise are economic freedom, profit, private property, and competition. Business owners produce products that they think will sell the best and make the most profit. Businesses compete for customers with low prices and high quality. This competition helps push businesses to improve. Next page. Agriculture grows. Guiding question: why did agriculture remain the leading occupation of Americans in the 1800s? While many New Englanders went back to work in factories in the early 1800s, most Americans still lived and worked on farms. In the Northeast, farms were small, so family could do all the necessary work. Farmers in the Northeast usually sold their products locally. Agriculture moved west along with American settlers. Western farmers in the region north of the Ohio River found that land could support a thriving agriculture. Many of these farmers concentrated on raising pork and cash crops, such as corn and wheat. Caption says, as farmers moved west, the crops planted varied according to the climate. I'm sorry, I'll give that again. As farmers moved west, the crops they planted varied according to the climate. Cotton was grown in the warmer south, while wheat, shown here, was grown in the northern areas. Making connections, science. New England's forests. Before the arrival of European settlers, about 90% of New England's landscape was covered by forest. It is believed that by the 1800s, nearly 75% of the region's lands were cleared. Much of central New England was cleared as the population and agriculture expanded. The northern parts of the region were cut for timber. This trend continued well into the 1800s as new industries sought lumber to use for charcoal, for iron production, railroad ties, and shipbuilding. By the mid to late 1800s, lumbering and industry had begun to move both to the west and the south, and pressures on the Northeast forest were reduced. In time, the Northeast forest began to return, filling in areas that had been cut for lumber and pasture lands. Okay. The text says, in the South, cotton production rose sharply. The demand for cotton grew steadily as textile factories appeared, especially in the northern states. In addition, the cotton gin allowed planters to grow cotton over a much wider area. Southern farmers seeking new land moved west to plant this valuable crop. Between 1790 and 1820, cotton production soared from 3,000 to 300,000 bales per year in the South. The success and spread of cotton created a huge demand for enslaved workers. Trade in enslaved Africans expanded. Between 1790 and 1810, the number of enslaved Africans in the United States rose from about 700,000 to 1.2 million. Cities grow up. The growth of factories and trade led to the growth of towns and cities. Many cities developed along rivers, so factories could take advantage of the water power and easily ship goods to market. Older port cities such as New York, Boston, and Baltimore also grew as centers of commerce and trade. Along New York's South Street, shipping piers extended for 3 miles. One traveler wrote of the busy waterfront. Every thought, word, look, and action of the multitude seemed to be absorbed by commerce. Credit from Travels Through Canada and the United States of North America in the years 1806, 1807, and 1808, Volume 2 by John Lambert. To the west, towns such as Pittsburgh, Cincinnati, and Louisville were located on major rivers. As farmers in the West shipped more products by water, these towns grew rapidly. Cities and towns look different from modern urban areas. They feature wooden brick buildings and unpaved streets. Barnyard animals often roamed freely. There were no sewers to carry away waste, so disease such as cholera and yellow fever were a threat. Fire was another danger. Sparks from a fireplace could easily ignite wooden buildings. Fires could be disastrous since few cities had organized fire companies. Yet cities offered many opportunities, such as a variety of jobs and steady wages. As cities grew, residents built libraries, museums, and shops for people to enjoy during their leisure time. For many, the jobs and attractions of city life outweighed the dangers. And that is it.